In a magazine, there are advertorials and there's advertising. Now, advertorial is somebody else is talking about you, but it's not advertising, but it's like hidden advertising. So you start these blogs, and in these blogs you link. So now, if you really say you're computer illiterate, there's a lot of basics you need to know. So you need to know first you can actually link words. You can create a hyperlink. Okay, you can create a hyperlink. And so in your comment, you can create a hyperlink. So now people can click on that, and just with this click, you get picked up again by Google, because it's a click and there's an interaction between servers. As if you have heard any talks from Jean-Paul and Deborah Misek, they are really all about this Web 2.0 idea that you do, they so-called, they are marketing molesters, and they're really like people, you know, they try to do it gentle. So there are basically two really big routines out there. The one is really, you know, you have a business, you do advertising, and you use the internet to do advertising, and I think there's nothing wrong with it. If you have a good product, let people know about it and be gentle about it, but be out there. So I think the more hits you can have in the internet, the more you become an expert, the more people you know, the more people like to do business with you. However, what Jean-Paul said, and it's an interesting, just different way of doing that, they try to really kind of absolutely hide advertising. They want to really do it very, very indirect. So they say advertising should not be advertising, it should be other people talking about you. So it's the same like the people say the difference between marketing, also marketing is a big word, and then you have advertising, or you have PR. Advertising, you say what you can do, so people either believe it or not. PR is other people say what you have done. So and now it's much more, if a third person is saying what you have done, is much more credible. If this is particular, it's dependent on the person who is saying it. So when somebody else endorsing you, then suddenly it's not advertising. That's PR. And there are a lot of different strategies out there. So what you're saying is really, you know, you have a product, you do advertising for yourself, and it works.
But the way that the people find your product is not only, or find you on that particular search or whatever that is, social network,
right,
is that other people are talking about you and linking, because when they type in your information, it shows up as a hyperlink.
Exactly.
It just automatically does that because
right,
you are registered with them.
Right.
So if they say something about a last one of a kind, it shows up as a hyperlink in their blog on their thing. So when somebody goes and reads their thing, mine shows up as a hyperlink, which then they can click on and go to my site to see what else they're talking about.
Exactly, yeah. Exactly. And I think that's really, that's a great idea. So there are a lot of different softwares out there where they take your information and they hyperlink it. So then when it's a hyperlink, it will be found by Google and by all this other search engine. And I think that's really a good thing. Raven.
You're a master networker. So can you take us through a little bit of the process? Say at this conference you get a business card, right? Mm-hmm. Tomorrow you're back to go. What do you do next? Get that information in, you scan it in, you type it in.
Yeah, actually, of information, of a data.
So it goes from a business card into your world.
Okay. Yeah, that's actually probably a very helpful topic. And then, of course, you have them in boxes and somewhere. So first thing is never, ever throw away a business card. There's a bad karma with that. For me, it's a little personality there, so I really take care very well of my business cards. You know, in the Asian culture, even though it's like, oh my God, never put them, there's even an etiquette what to do with business cards, you know. Never put them in your back pocket and never write on business cards unless you have the permission of the person. So there is really something about business cards. So I treasure a business card. For me, it's almost a person. So it's something from a person. So you get a business card and then you scan it in. The neat thing is it goes with the image in your file, and it goes right away in the computer, and it puts you in a database. Just be careful really that you look at the email addresses. Sometimes this one letter is wrong. It's really 98% correct, but you still need to check it because it goes from there in all your databases. You know, it syncs with all your databases. So if the email address is wrong, that's chaos. So be very sure that you check that very, very closely. So then, if the next thing is if I get the email from them, so I give them a nice email. When I get the email back, I still grab this information, even though I have it already in my database. I grab the information with my interface here and put it in a vCard. And so every week around, or every 2 weeks, I actually run a duplicate search. So this is a part of either this program here or even in Outlook, you can look for duplicates, and then you clean up your database. That's another thing. It's really important. So you kind of, I don't know, maybe I'm anal a little bit, but you have to be, with the database, you have to be careful. They need to be current, because if they're not, they're just worthless. You know, you have a lot of junk in there that doesn't make sense. This is CardScan. CardScan.com is around $200–300 for the hardware, and it's even what it does. It's really interesting. Just quickly a little bit more about this here. First of all, you have the card scanner. Secondly, you have basically a whole database backed up with cardscan.net in the internet. So now if you lose your phone, happens so often to me, you lose your phone, you still have your computer. You lose your computer or it crashes, then you still would have it backed up in the internet. By the way, you always should have a backup for your computer anyway. So if the backup is also, it's basically a backup for the backup in the internet. Now the good thing is, if you lose everything, then you could be wherever and you just go to cardscan.net and you have still all your contacts in the internet somewhere. So now another neat thing about that is that cardscan.net automatically send out all 3 months a nice email to all your contacts and say, please take a moment and update my information. Have your job changed? Have your, you know? So now it's actually do the updating for you. So, and that's, yeah, and that's called spam sometimes. Yeah. No, it comes with this you need to sign up for, but it comes automatically with that. So it's really cool to help you to become organized. So now what you need to do, there's still some human interaction need to be there. When you meet somebody, it's just nice, and you know, we're all busy. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. But what's a good idea is you meet somebody and you find a nice reason, and if it's even only I enjoyed the talk with you, and maybe we should have sometime a cup of coffee if I'm in town again, and please stay in touch. And the LinkedIn, the LinkedIn invitation is really a good thing, because some people you meet and you have a good talk with them, but they actually don't want to have anything to do with you, you know. And you know, we're here in Hawaii; they're not going to tell you. But the way to tell you, is not to contact you back. So now with the invitation of LinkedIn, if they really take your invitation, sometimes if they care for you, they say, I don't want your invitation from LinkedIn. I like to be in contact, but I don't want to be a part of that. That's fine. Or they say, yeah, great. Thank you for the invitation, and then they click a button, and then they are in your network. So it's really a great way to build friends, to build clientele. You build out your database, and also to get information. So if there's one more thing here I wanna say. I forgot before. In LinkedIn too is a way for you to become an expert. If people ask questions, and they have expert forums, and if you comment a lot in those blogs, and you have the most comments, and you are one of few people only in this industry, then they create a list, and they say, Thomas Trenz is an expert in internet because he have given so many information in blogs. So suddenly people see in your LinkedIn interface that you're a so-called expert in your field. So now if I need a website, I want to go to the expert in their field. And it seems not like advertising because somebody else is saying it about you. So it's kind of like information is right there. So it's not partial, it's right there. So, and this is just, as I said, one of 100 different ways to create yourself as a personality in the internet. Yeah, Wayman?
Sure. You do all of this yourself, or do you have an executive assistant? Does it get to a place where you can scale?
I think if you do it right, you want to do it yourself. It could be done by somebody else, but there is always, let me say it this way. You know, before we had such phones like the BlackBerry where everything is in there and everything is a short button, and so I used to have 100 phone numbers in my head. I had them all in my head. Now I cannot remember my own. So, and what is really important is to make a distinction between important people and not so important people, and people you need to follow up now and later, and how do you convey that to somebody else. So it's really, for me, when you do it right, I tell you, Waven, it's not creating work for you. It's taking off workload for you. But you need to be organized in the first place. So take a little bit of time, research that, talk to your friends what they have, get one of those things, take one weekend, get yourself organized, and from there on, it's really a walk in the park. Okay, it's just need to be started. All right? Okay, thank you so much.